A group comprising youths from the Gambia's capital Banjul who called themselves ARR Banjul, which translates Protect Banjul, earlier on Monday organized a peaceful march past. They called for the protection of the island city against environmental disasters at the occasion. The group's march past followed the recent flood in the capital that displaced thousands of its residents yet to return to their homes due to the poor conditions of the flooded areas. Mr. Ahmad Wuri Jallo, one of the members of the group, says Banjul housed over 60,000 people, but alleges negligence decreased the city's population by almost a half.
Banjul is a particular island that, if 20 years ago was through the population census, we had over 65,000 people that live in Banjul. But today, due to environmental disasters and negligence of authorities and lack of proper management, today Banjul is only left with 31,000 people as a resident or as a population. Why? It's because of the same reason why we are out today. The commercialization of Banjul, the industrialization of the Tanbi, and then sand drenching at Denton Bridge is a threat to the entire Banjulians, whether you know it or you don't know. That is why we come today to at least re-emphasize to the people who are already aware, and as well make sure that the people who are not aware are aware of all these environmental disasters. And I can tell you with great affirmity that if we did not take action, Banjul, we were preempting that Banjul will completely submerge in 2050. But I can tell you, if we did not take with good care, that Banjul can be completely exhumed, or it will cease existence in the world map within just 5 to 10 years.
Mr. Jallo says they will not sit idly and watch capitalists take over the capital city.
When you go to the Bond Road right now, we have over 500 meters by 200 meters that is completely annihilated. The mangroves were completely annihilated. And of this is one of the contributing factors why Banjul was inundated. Banjul was not naturally inundated. It was an artificial, and we all know very well Banjul will be inundated because we know what we did. We went and covered and put industries into all these areas that which the water was using in order to dispose and get away from Banjul. Banjul was rough. Banjul, the roads were not constructed. But Banjul was not flooding like the way we are flooding. We cannot spend $1.8 billion on a particular project, and it does not, in fact, address the very basic needs or the very basic reason why that particular project was brought on. I don't know what type of country are we living in anymore. I don't know what type of society do we find ourselves in. Because I was thinking with my conscious mind that capitalists will not take our country, and we sit as authorities of this country and we watch that and we continue to protect the same capitalists. This is a disaster and this is a calamity. We are calling
Usainu Koli, popularly known as Usainu Gambia, highlights some of the environmental issues affecting the island settlement.
The work that is not properly done, we are after the wetland, where the wetland is interrupted. New Hamden wetland is a breathing area for flowing water, for water to leave Banjul and go to the state. So if all those places are interrupted, we have a lot of bird species in the wetland. It's a very strategic environmental place for the Gambia itself. We have seen the sand dragging happening, or mining or dragging, whatsoever you can call it, happening at all. Recently, if you go to the Anthony Justice, the AG Chambers area, the coconuts were planted there. If you visited there, you understand that now they are affected because the sea level is rising and all those things. So all these are environmental impact. So you want citizens to sit and fold our hands and keep quiet with that? No, that's why we come to speak to people.
Suleiman Jai, fondly called Soul Slim Jai, says Banjul's problems are the people he referred to as capitalist Banjulians.
At this concept, because Banjul mom always dam ko rewa. When it comes to Banjul, sun problem also bokk na si Banjulians. Because Banjulians ñi nga xamne ñoo lañu oyé capitalist. Capitalist minded it, ñu ñoo oyé tycoon ñoy sun problem. Because of you melni su amé, instead of ñom ñu ñew ñu bokk ci xex bi o ñu delu ginaaw duñ dé def lolu. Always dañ dé try pour ñu ñoo def pour lu ñoo yaxa.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mbuguma Ismail Jeng, also a member of the group, says the industrialization of Banjul wetland is not doing well for the city.
Half of this group. This is a group that is non-political and it is of course non-religious. This is a peaceful group comprises of Banjulians whose sole aim is to save our city. We all know the environmental impacts. We all know about the global warming. Now we know the Tanbi and the wetland is the breeding space for Banjul. Now we have observed that Banjul has been, or the Tanbi has been industrialized, which is not healthy for Banjul and which is not doing good for Banjul.
Shortly after giving this speech, Mr. Jeng was arrested by the police and he was taken to their headquarters. Upon return, when asked what transpired at the police headquarters, he had this to say.
Okay, we were taken into the police station, but basically the conversation was cordial. We were told that we cannot assemble without a permit. And we thought that we have a citizen right to assemble whenever we have an issue to manifest. Now, there was no violence, anything else. What I was told is if I wish to go back to the street, I need to go and apply for a permit, and then I told them we will apply for a permit.
In 2019, President Adama Barrow launched the Banjul Rehabilitation Project for the rehabilitation and construction of the road network and sewage system of the island city. However, the completion of the $35.6 million project contracted to Gay Construction Company could not save Banjul from flooding, with thousands of its residents displaced following last month's rain. Reporting for Kerr, Fatou, I am Landin Cisse.